I don't shoot just to shoot. I shoot normally because I'm shooting for that bread, for that paper, for that skrilla, for that money, for that guap. You know what I'm saying? For the young pesos. You know what I'm saying? So for that yin and that yang, for that gold. You know what I mean? For that copper though. You know what I'm saying? For that stack, for that paper, for that ding, for that ching. Ching.
Thank you guys for checking out another episode of Eye of Elliott. This year I'm doing things a little bit different. I'm having a lot more guests on my program. And so I'm doing discussions with Lyric about music and pop culture. But I also want to start a new segment every single month where I sit down and talk to a photographer about their process and their work. And first up to bat is award-winning photojournalist and photographer Jarrad Henderson. The boy is dope, y'all. So check out part one of my conversation with Jarrad Henderson. Thank you for being here, man. Appreciate you.
I appreciate it. I've been a fan since day one, man. So to be on the Eye of Elliott show is like quite humbling and dope.
Yo, I appreciate it. You're definitely, a part of my journey. I want to talk a little about photography, but before we jump into things, I want to start with some rapid fire questions. You got to answer them as quickly as you can push the shutter button to take a picture.
I like it.
All right, so first off, Nikon or Canon?
Canon.
Okay, Fuji or Sony?
Sony.
What do you love shooting?
People.
What do you hate shooting?
Pets.
What is one question you wish people would stop asking you about photography?
Your camera must take some awesome pictures, no?
Digital photography or film photography?
Film. You gotta learn the classics. You gotta learn that's how you learn how to be a photographer, in my opinion.
What is one thing you wish people would say to you more about your photography?
I know exactly what you're trying to say.
How long have you been shooting for?
Professionally, I've been shooting for a little under 7 years.
If you had a choice between writing and photography, which one would you choose? If you could only do one, which one would it be?
If you said video and photography, that would have been even more difficult. Photo, all day, photo.
What is one thing that you've learned about life from photography?
Photography has taught me that I have a voice. It's helped me define what that voice is. Photography also taught me patience. A lot of people who first pick up cameras, I don't care what it is, a Nikon, Canon, DSLR, phone, whatever, we have this pressure on us to perform right away. And Ira Glass has this concept, he talks about the gap, right? When you first start off, your taste is good and your thoughts and ideas are good and they're up here. But your execution level
your ability
is like
to make
down
that happen.
here
Yeah,
because you're not there yet.
Yeah.
And so in order to get to the point where your stuff is matching, the only way to push through it is to do masses and masses and masses amounts of work. And so it's taught me how to be patient with my craft. Anybody can take a dope photo. Like you can pick up a camera and take a dope photo. The challenge is, can you do it consistently? Can you do it at the drop of a hat?
Yeah, can you reproduce that in different circumstances? Exactly. Can you be in any circumstance and get the shot?
Exactly.
Yeah. One of the things that each photographer has to develop is this ability to do things that are sometimes uncomfortable.
Sure.
That might mean walking directly up to someone and taking their photo, being very close in their space. It might also mean taking photos without asking for people's permission ahead of time.
That's true.
So I know you were telling me before, on your way here today, you were looking for a person to take an image of.
Yes. Similar to Humans of New York, the whole idea was just find a stranger, ask to make their portrait, and then ask them what's on their mind, and then write that as my caption on Instagram. Oh. And so the goal is 52 portraits in 52 weeks. That's it. I mean, I think every photographer, I don't care what level of skill you're at, should make portraits of strangers. Like just practice walking up to people and asking them, can I make your photograph? As a journalist, I have to do it every day. It doesn't get easier, especially in situations where you might be dealing with somebody who just had the most traumatic experience they've ever had in their life. And now you're sticking a camera in their face trying to make a portrait of them. When I first got to Detroit, one of the first stories I covered was a 4-year-old girl went missing. The family had been looking for this 4-year-old girl for like weeks. They called a press conference to the house and I show up and the family's just kind of on the porch and they're talking to all the news cameras pleading for this little girl to be returned to their home. They end up finding her body maybe like a mile away, burnt up in an abandoned building. It was a horrible story, right? So the family is going through this really traumatic experience and they're like, okay, Jarrad, you're the young photographer on staff at this point. I've had very little experience out on the street covering trauma, right? Go make some photos. That was a tough experience. And the only thing that even gave me half of a bit of confidence to go and do something like that was previously going up to people and building relationships on the fly. And so every photographer, we used to do this thing called 10 portraits. And the goal was you would go up to 10 people, more if you had to, and just ask them, hey, can I make your portrait? It does two things. One, it accomplishes you being able to get up and tell your story and sell yourself really fast. And then two, it allows you to learn how to build rapport with people. Like the thing that I realized is like any good retail store employee, like if you ever work for Apple, they say when you started a conversation or initiate a conversation with somebody, a customer, you never start with, how can I help you today? Or, can I get you what you like? What are you looking for, right? You normally start with some type of entry point. Same thing, like if you're at the club and you're trying to holler at a fly girl. You don't just walk up like, yo, I want to get your number. Like, what's good? Can we dance? Can I get your number?
Hey, what's
Can
good,
I get
though?
your number? Can I have it?
Yo, can I get your number?
Can I get your number?
Can I get your number, though? Can I get your number, though?
Like, hey, how was your day today? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. That's a fly pair of earrings you got on.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? Something that kind of breaks up the ice, entry point.
Yeah.
That you could build some type of rapport,
sure.
right? You build that trust that way. I'm never on this end of the camera. Although I am trying to do more like on camera stuff.